Yes, hello, what's up, guys? Welcome to yet another episode of the Cup Talk Show. My name is Marvin, and it's always a pleasure to be here with you. I want to send shout outs to everyone who actually takes time off to share, subscribe, and like our episodes. Yeah, Top White Meeting Uganda this year has a lot for you besides connectivity. Yeah, this is part of their mandate of sharing a lot of things with you, and they're our sponsors for this show. So big shout outs to Top White Meeting Uganda. Yeah, and today, just like any other day, we always come with interesting topics, but as well impactful to the young people. Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about journalism as a discipline, and how can the young people in the discipline of journalism use that skill or that power to make the changes that we need as young people in our societies. Yeah, so today in the studio, I'm joined by, I don't know how best I can introduce her, yeah? Because guys, she is the news anchor of the year 2022 in the Royal Gospel Awards, yeah? So today in the studio, I'm joined by none other than Nagai Gloria Loretta. Yeah. So
Nagai Loretta.
Nagai Loretta. Oh, yeah. Okay. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Marvin, for the invite, and it was really thoughtful.
It's my pleasure to have you on the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, we as young people, we are probably scattered in different kind of disciplines. Some of you guys are social workers. Some guys are technical guys, ICT and all that. But then there's this discipline where guys actually just use media to be vocal about things that they really believe in, and things they do believe that we as young people just need as of now. So Loretta, yes, before we get into our today's topic, maybe can you please share with our viewers maybe your personal journey and how you got into this discipline of journalism. So basically, what inspired you to get into journalism?
Okay. First and foremost, thank you very much for watching Connect TV. My name is Loretta Given Nagai Kwagala Promise, the brand as someone calls me, and I'm really delighted to be here. My journey as a journalist has been, I won't say an easy one, but right from the point go, deciding to become a journalist was not really easy, because I come from a family where they believe there are only two professions in that actually get you a job instantly.
Okay.
So those professions are becoming a teacher, and if you're not a teacher, automatically you have to become a doctor.
Wow.
So those are the only professions that they believe in. The other one would be maybe becoming a caterer or a cateress, because they are assured that the job is there. So standing out and telling them, guys, I want to be different, I want to go for journalism and mass communication, then was not really an easy decision, because that was the time when journalists were being beaten here and there, all over the news, and they are still asking why. So
before I'm having a question. So who sets these standards in the family? Is it the breadwinner, like the dad, or it's like something that the family just agreed upon, like get into?
In a family where I come from, I lost my dad, and I was raised by my mom, and by then my uncle was taking care of my school fees. So when they set it, okay, not really setting the standards, but they want you to be well at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, so they thought that when you're a teacher, when you're a doctor, maybe when you go into catering, there you have an assured job.
There's guarantee of you being employed.
Yeah.
All right. Big shout outs to your uncle. Yeah, you can send him some love. All right. Now I would like you maybe maybe if your source of inspiration came from but you haven't told me the exact source of inspiration besides maybe you just going diverting from the values or the set standard that you're in the family. So what exactly really got you like to be okay, besides being a doctor or a teacher, I want to do journalism?
Okay, then I had not decided, but then, okay, growing up, I used to watch news like all the time. Like for primary, I was the only person who would stay on TV when my uncle comes and is like, "Mteke kama holiday." I'm the only one who stays around to watch. So after some time, I had to ask myself, okay, if I'm to do journalism, there must be a big reason as to why. And I think that will push me to stay in the job even when things become worse.
Definitely.
So one of the things that really inspired me to become a journalist, one was I come from a Christian family. I'm a Christian, born again, and I fellowship from Fresh Fire Deliverance Ministries. Okay. Then there was something that was bad. There was a lot of propaganda about the pastors. So I thought some of these stories that were told about pastors were not true. So I had to come out and shed more light.
So basically to combat misinformation.
Yes.
Okay, so your challenge that you spotted out was basically misinformation, and that's what actually got you into journalism. Maybe is there like a particular story that was really so personal to you that you covered, like maybe ever since then and now in between there, a personal story that you've covered and you're like, okay, I'm proud that I covered such and such a story?
It was a story that I covered, I think last year. It was about the people living with HIV/AIDS. And this story really changed my life and the way I look at things. Because then when we were in school, you would look at someone and think that because they have, maybe you get a chance to know their status.
True.
You think they are the ones that really did wrong. That's why they are sick. But when I really got to sit down with these people, I got to relate with them. I just got to know that life is not how we see it.
Definitely. You just can't do a physical assessment of it and then you just stumble down on a conclusion of it.
Yeah. So that is one of the stories that I did that made me feel like things are not the way we see them.
Okay. Then in that particular way, I would like you maybe to talk to the young people who are in the same discipline as you. Yeah. How best can they use journalism as a tool of change? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because now you are probably got the chance to acquaint with people who are living a positive life. I'm talking in terms of HIV, and you got to understand how they are, and maybe get a better insight of what their lives actually are like. And maybe.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. And maybe you're using your platform to really combat the stigma that surrounds that whole kind of segment of people. Yeah. Are there any ways you think people who are in the same discipline as you can use journalism as a tool of change?
Yeah, I think there are very many ways. One is before you actually report a story, think about what you want the outcomes to be out of this story. Okay. Am I communicating to someone out there to change, to have something change? Am I communicating to maybe change someone's name, defame, something like that? So before you actually report a story as a young journalist, because right now we don't even have, even those that are not journalists are out there trying to do our job. Bloggers, people everywhere are trying to do our job, because the first person on the scene wants to be the one breaking the news at the end of the day. So before you put that thing out there, think twice. Is it going to build? Is it going to break? If it's going to break, then don't post it. Keep it to yourself, maybe for future reference, but don't post it. As long as something is going to break and not to build, it's better you leave it out.
All right. Now that we're talking about this particular maybe young people, and I hope they're taking the advice though. So you as Nagai, how best would you maybe consider or advise them on how they can probably work on have reporting news that's accurate, fair, and inclusive, especially when they are talking about marginalized communities? Yeah, because there are some topics or like stories that we go to cover that need somebody to be really, keen and get to know what information to really pick out. Yeah. And at the end of the day, your story, just like you said, can instead break this community instead of really, building. Yeah. So how best can young journalists really consider reporting accurate, fair, and inclusive news, given the fact that right now, there's news almost everywhere, social media, everybody can come up with their kind of version of the story. Yeah.
Okay, if we are speaking about a journalist, just to be clear, what kind of journalist are we speaking about? Are we speaking about people who are self-proclaimed journalists or journalists who are actually journalists?
Actually, I would sometimes when I have a friend here called Emma. Sometimes we call him Engineer Emma, and that sparks off different arguments with most of our colleagues. Yeah. However, I feel like it's always unfair for maybe somebody to tag a title like doctor to them or engineer to their name, especially if they didn't really go through the right means to earn that name, and that comes off like an insult to people who actually attained that particular title the rightful way. Yeah. So as I'm talking about journalists here, I'm really being intentional. I'm not talking about self-proclaimed journalists. Yeah.
I just wanted to be clear when I'm answering your question.
Yeah.
If you're speaking about journalists who are not self-proclaimed, those are journalists that went to school for this.
True.
These are journalists who actually swore an oath to make sure that they are accurate in their reporting, they are balanced, they are not obligated in any way to say vice versa.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about that kind of journalist, then I think that kind of journalist already knows what they're supposed to be doing. Just that now our economy at least is not really favoring some of the journalists, whereby they end up going off because of the money, because of their needs that they have to actually meet. So that kind of journalist just needs to be intentional.
Okay.
Know what you need at the end of the day. A good name is better than great riches. And it takes time for you to build that name.
True.
So putting it to waste because of money, it might be $100,000, even $100,000. It does not matter how much the money is, but your name is what you're putting at risk at the end of the day. So whenever you're reporting, you have to be vigilant and know, what am I saying? How is it going to affect me at the end of the day? Because even if we're in groups, there are those times where you go personal when you are alone at the end of the day, and you really need to stand out as a person, because even when judgment comes, it's coming to you as a person.
As an individual.
If they're imprisoning, it's you as a person. So whatever you report, you have to be accountable and intentional at the end of the day.
All right, true. And I believe it would be even best for them to have a sense of empathy, because sometimes the story that you're breaking might not have an implication on you as an individual. However, the other party might be,
I think that's where you have to really be thoughtful. You think before you act. There are some people who think while they're doing. There are those who think after, and there are those who think before. So be a person who thinks before, not a person who thinks during or after. That will help you a lot.
All right. Now, we are living a time where, just like you said, I believe media or technology itself, like technology, the advancements in technology have played a big role in the rates of disinformation, misinformation that we are having as of now. And I believe that's a challenge to you as journalists, yeah? However, can you tell us how maybe the advancements in technology or social media has in a way improved your kind of discipline, or it has eased your work?
I think it has really made life easy in that when we get the leads from social media now, like you get to know, okay, now I need to do a story about this from social media. The other is it helps us monitor our progress at the end of the day. How far has my story reached? Has it really reached the target audience, depending on the feedback that you get? The other is social media has really helped us as journalists to brand ourselves out there. Because at the end of the day, when a story breaks out, you go to different social media platforms. But when you find it on my platform, you'll be like, I think this is true. Because so-and-so does not just post. They think before they actually post. So it has really helped us. And there's a way it makes life easy. There are some things that you would not have gotten until you go to social media. There is a way it bridges a gap between the people and you as a journalist.
Okay, and given that you would always watch news with your uncle, dad, or whatever when you're young, who is the journalist or news anchor? Given the fact that, guys, award winner 2022. Yeah, so who is that news anchor that probably inspired you or you would always enjoy watching while they're presenting the news?
Okay, then it used to be, because by then, Farida was the one on top then.
Yeah.
But as time went on, I realized, okay, I like her, but I don't want to be like her. There's a lady, she's now a politician. She's called Joyce Bagalantuatwa. I love her so much. Like, I don't know.
All right. So finally, what do you think the future of journalism is like in Uganda?
It's a bright future now that we have journalists that are coming on board, young journalists.
Do you believe the universities are really bringing in like a fair number of people who are interested in this particular work?
Most of them are very much interested, but they're not capable.
So what
they're willing, but they're not able.
What do you think gets them into this kind of work? Is it the paycheck or somebody can be passionate about it, but maybe they're not that competent because of the standards of the industry?
At times when I get interns, I usually tell them, man, why did you, like, in all professions, why did you choose journalism? Because the best thing I'm looking at here is what really pushed you. Because if you do not have an intention and passion at the end of the day, journalism will fail you. There's no money in journalism, just so you know, as like it's plain truth out there. There's no money in journalism. So if you're not passionate about it, there are a lot of things that will stop you from being the journalist that you would be. So the only way you have to win or persevere and make it in life as a journalist is persistence, passion, and being intentional at the end of the day.
All right. So thank you, Nage, and I hope you keep winning. Yeah, 2023, watch out for her. Yeah, she's coming. All right, good luck in your kind of discipline, and I hope your work does really impact a lot of young people out there. All right, guys, that has been it for today. Thank you for being a part of the show, and always do what you're supposed to do. You know what it is, yeah? Subscribe, hit the notification button, and you won't be missing out on any of these episodes, yeah? All right, I remain Marvin Bagenda. Until next time, bye-bye.